Hey everyone, it's week 5 in the NFL, and there's been some injuries. Lots of injuries. Lots of injuries, but also some good play and good games. We're talking about one of these games that's going to be good. It's the late Sunday game on Sky, 9 p.m. game, and we're talking the 3-1 Atlanta Falcons against the 4-0 Denver Broncos. Atlanta been surprising, scoring a lot of points, but beating kind of crappy teams, and Denver 6-point favorites in this game. Edo, let's start with you. How do we see this? We probably won't get our Paxton Lynch on this weekend, but it looks like Trevor Siemian's coming back. Is this going to be a factor, do you think?
Yeah, because Siemian played pretty reasonably so far, and he fits Kubiak's system. There's a lot of sort of play action going on, so he's been put in quite a comfortable position to succeed. Atlanta haven't really been getting that much pressure on the quarterback, which is why they've conceded so many points so far. The Vegas line here is surprisingly higher than the other ones. It's not a surprise at all. It's 47, so it's going to be a high-scoring affair. I think Denver could really confuse Atlanta because C.J. Anderson, actually, yards per carry, he's not really doing that well on that front. He's done really well as a receiver. He's starting to rack up those 40, 50-yard totals, and I think that Denver have got so many weapons, kind of waiting for Virgil Green to emerge as well, because they really do have a lot to sort of throw out there, and I think it will be too much for Atlanta, ultimately. I just don't... Atlanta, yeah, they've beaten some pretty bad teams. They lost to Tampa Bay, which didn't look so bad in week 1. It looks much worse now because Tampa Bay really do look like a bit of a mess.
Well, Will, let's talk about that. Atlanta last week put up 500 yards on Carolina. Julio Jones with 300 yards, 50 points in DraftKings. You see that happening this week against that Denver defense?
This is it. You two are sitting there and you're saying they're beating bad teams. But last week, they put 33 points on the Carolina Panthers. I don't know if you remember, but they went to the Super Bowl last year. And that defense, okay, they lost Josh Norman from the back end, but they've always been about the front seven. They're all about the pressure and then just throwing anyone out at the back because they get the... it's not coverage sacks. They're all about pressure. I do think you've got in this game, you've got the best offense in the league right now in terms of scoring, in terms of yardage, in terms of everything else, against the best defense, and it's only going one way, and that is in favour of the defense, because whilst I really like the Falcons, I like the 1-2 punch they've got in the back, although I think we've now found out Tevin Coleman is playing with this sickle cell issue, but whether he'll get limited snaps because of it, I wouldn't be surprised. I like what they're doing there. I love Julio Jones. I think Matt Ryan, I've always liked Matt Ryan. I think he had some... crap around him in previous years.
Always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
Yeah, he's looking like a top 5 quarterback right now. I think that'll drop off, and I think it's going to start the drop off this week against Denver.
All right, what about you, Ryan?
Well, you know what? I'm going to go the opposite direction, where I actually think the Falcons are going to win this game, to be honest. I think the Broncos have been great. I'm not a big fan of Trevor Siemian yet. I think now that we've seen Paxton Lynch play well when he came in, that Simeon's going to have that looking over his shoulder now, where he didn't really have that. I think that's going to affect his game. And then you have the story with Aqib Talib now. He's facing possible suspension in the league. I think that's going to come into play, especially if he has to cover Julio Jones coming after 300 yards. And I think Matt Ryan is still not getting the respect of what he should be. He's the #1 quarterback in fantasy. He's right now the NFL MVP, probably front runner, other than defense, if you're going defensive players like Von Miller. But I think this is going to be the game where the Broncos hype just kind of finally falls down a bit. I think their D is going to get hit a bit by some big plays. And Julio Jones, like, if you can't stop him, but Freeman's just as good. And then if Freeman comes out, Coleman comes in, Tammy, they have so many weapons. And I think this is going to be a real test for the Broncos. I think it's going to be a very close game. I think it's going to come down to the wire. But I like the Falcons.
Here's the thing. Julio Jones, who I love, I think one of my favourite receivers in the league, but he very much suits going up against a defence like the Panthers because of that weakness in the back end. Because the thing he does better than anyone else in the league is his speed in and out of his breaks, those post routes, those slant routes. That's where he has by far the most success. Denver, with their corners, with Aqib Talib, with TJ Ward at safety, with Chris Harris, those guys are not, they're going to stay pressed, they're going to stay on you. And I think Julio Jones is going to be so popular in daily fantasy this week. And he is going to see the biggest drop-off of any player in the history of time from week to week. Now, that's because he had 300 yards last week.
Yeah, of course.
But
you're not going
to replicate that. But, you know, if he was held to 50 yards off 4 catches, I wouldn't be that surprised.
All right, let's do our predictions and let's pick the score. Edo, call the score. What do you see it? 6-point favorites for Denver.
No, I've got more than that. I've got 35-20 Denver.
Okay.
Because I think the Denver's defense, has been really good. It's still one of the top 5 in the league, but Atlanta have had such a varied offense that I think they will get points. Respect the OC as well. They've done a really pretty decent job so far.
Okay, Ryan?
I'm going to go 2017 Falcons. I think it's going to be last-second field goal. I think it's going to keep it close. I think they're going to keep Matt Ryan, but I think Trevor Siemian's going to have a tough time in this game.
And Will, what's your prediction?
27-17 Broncos.
Okay. And I'm going to go 30-27 for the Broncos. I think it's going to be a tight game, but it's in Denver. And, that Mile High, the air and the fans up there, it's a championship city. They're going to like it. If you guys want to watch the game, come join us. It's on Sky Sports starting at 9:25. We'll be watching at the Hippodrome Casino in Leicester Square. Food and drink deals. And, of course, take us on in our contest. DraftKings.co.uk/Hippo. Join our league, play in the contest. You can win first prize, which are 2 tickets to LA versus New York at Twickenham. See you Sunday.